Hello everyone, and hello Robin. It's nice to see you again.
Hi.
So, so guys, my name is Enea, and today I'm going to give a short introduction of what you are going to do with your instructor Robin. So we are going to continue with the fourth of our series, so ChatGPT in DevOps. And in this lesson, we are going to learn about the future of Jenkins file creation with ChatGPT, right, Robin? So this is what
Yes,
you are
yes.
going to explain today.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So first, I believe that it is going to be an introduction to ChatGPT. Then you're going to explain features of ChatGPT for Jenkins file writing. You are going to demonstrate them live and basically tell people what are the best practices and tips in general. Now, guys, if you have any questions, there is the questions and answers part there. I mean, when Robin is free and can check them, I believe that you can answer to those questions, right, Robin?
Yeah, it's all right. I will be always checking in the channel.
Yeah, okay. So in case you have any question, guys, here is the expert, here is your instructor. So yeah, that is what I was going to say for today. I hope you have a very lovely and enjoyable lesson together, Robin. Have a good time.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Anaya. Thank you for doing the icebreaking session on behalf of me. So, we can start with the talking about what is ChatGPT in general. Then maybe we can do some uh very small demonstration. I don't want to steal one of your precious time. So it's going to be a little bit enjoyable, but I think my aim is here to provide the very valuable information for you guys, because as a DevOps engineer, we always use this kind of, tools that will help us doing our daily jobs, right? So, uh, yes, I am seeing some of question from the QA channel. So it's going to be recorded, I think, and it's going to be published in the YouTube. And at the end of this session, I'm going to share the slides for you. All right, so let's get started. But before just getting started, I want you to guys okay, just hold on. I'm going to share something for you, which is going to be a little bit, you know, uh, just hold on. I'm just checking it. All right, so it is this one, I think. So let me find it.
We have this man here.
Yeah.
His name is what?
The only thing I want to say that I want to thank. Wait. Yeah. My name is Ziad, and I want to thank ChatGPT for helping me doing all my assignments, my thesis, and everything. Thank you.
We have this man.
So guys, yeah, this is kind of funny. Some shorts about ChatGPT. I come across this one when I'm doing just kind of digging in the YouTube. So yeah, as you may seen here, this is very funny, and the guy is just thanking nothing but to ChatGPT, providing every kind of precious tools for him. All right, so let's get started. What the ChatGPT is and what's its first scope. So ChatGPT, as its name implies, it's a large language model and it's generative for purpose. So it's based on the transforming the knowledge while doing some search in the internet, and it's going to give you some prompt like human-like responses, because sometimes you want to see some of the solution when you come across. So it's going to be providing the solutions, not only just giving you the steps, but also showing you some resources. So it is capable of performing a wide range of language tasks, because it is just searching the internet. It could be written in Python, Java, C++, C Sharp, everything. Okay, so it's going to show you the very basic information about you what you've been providing as a question, and it's going to be compiled every, let's say, the solutions and responses, and it's going to be, updated, but you need to pay for the ChatGPT 4. But ChatGPT 3.5 is free, so you can use, and it is sometimes, providing very, let's say, unique answer for it. So there are, some advantages and disadvantages of ChatGPT. So if we are to speak the advantages, so it's going to show, we are going to see it. It will be showing us to very understandable text, and all you have to do is just follow the steps and just, try to stick by the rules. So as we mentioned before, ChatGPT 3.5 is very, let's say, cheap, because you don't have to pay anything for it. But ChatGPT 4 is something that you need to pay. It's nearly $25 for amount. So in ChatGPT, you can use ChatGPT in various of language. You can use, Mandarin, French, Turkish, every language that you are going to be speaking of. So it is very fast, but sometimes you need to follow the sequence, because you cannot be compatible with the speed of the ChatGPT, let's say, prompt. So it's very easy to use, because user interface is very, let's say, plain, and all you have to do is just provide the text in the required area. So there are some cons when it comes to ChatGPT. So yes, it is sometimes not able to solve very complex of human languages, because we are providing some information, but the thing here is we need to be, let's say, more articulate when we write something there, okay? Because it's going to, first analyze what we are writing there, and if we are not specifically declaring what we are going to aim, it will sometimes, find it difficult to provide some answer for us. The, unpaid version has been updated in 2021. So until then, we haven't seen any kind of update. So sometimes if we are not very articulate in some point, it's focusing irrelevant part of the questions. And sometimes the accuracy problems may occur, but you need to be, very careful about the ChatGPT, because you cannot, put 100% trust on it. Okay. These are the, some example when it comes to, let's say, the ChatGPT prompts. So it says word similar to devolve that begins with the B. It's like, devolve that begins with B. It's kind of, wrong, but the ChatGPT sees this one like a, correct one. You see, these are the, other explanations. So I just did this one, and I just check whether there are, some countries starting with letter V, and it says there are no country that's starting with letter V. But when do this one is second time, it provided me correct answer. Yes, these are the other, let's say, the examples of the ChatGPT clones, because it sometimes do some calculation, but giving you the wrong answers. So in this stage, the best practices for highly educated, users in the DevOps in IT market can spot the mistakes, okay? Because sometimes you can see if there are some parts that code is not compatible and it is not, let's say, very well written. So you can just go and check it, but every time you run some, let's say, question in the ChatGPT, it's going to give you different answer. Or if you don't like the answer that ChatGPT provided, you can just click on the regenerate, and it's going to be regenerate itself one more time. Yes, ChatGPT can help DevOps team work faster, more efficient, and with great accuracy, but as long as you are very careful about the content. Okay. So I think it's going to be conclusion, but I'm going to show you something more. So there are, some other ChatGPT tools when it comes to, creating some, let's say, presentation, let's say the pictures, musics, or so on. So I used Pop AI to create one presentation for me, and it is like this. So you can just create any kind of, let's say, the task that you've been given, as we, saw in the video. The guy was doing every, let's say, assignment and thesis with using the ChatGPT. So this is kind of, example for it. So you see, it is just, creating some, let's say, slides for you on your, let's say, easiness. So you can use this one. And also, there are, some other features for the ChatGPT. By the way, this is the user interface for ChatGPT. So we are using ChatGPT 3.5. And also, Google has introduced its, let's say, compatible AI model, which is Google Bard. And the thing is here, it is, just accepting that Bard may display inaccurate info. So it's kind of, exception, including about people. So double check its responses. So this is also applicable for the ChatGPT as well. Although, most of the time you can get the correct answer, but you need to be double checking it. Okay. So yeah, today, if we were to speak of the Jenkins file and its feature and its easiness to use, we can create some, first code block, and we can create the Jenkins file. Then we will be seeing that if the Jenkins file has been written correctly and if our code has been deployed in a very secure way and seamlessly. By the way, guys, before, just going into deeper, I did some, preparation for today's session, and every time I run the same command, or let's say the same question in the prompt, I have given the different answers. Some of them has been working, and some of them may need some extra features to be installed. But all in all, it will give you the syntax, because syntax are not changeable. And so, for example, the YAML files, our syntax are, unchangeable. JSON files, it's, kind of totally different things. But Jenkins files are also reserved by the, Groovy, because they are written in Groovy, and you can use the Groovy language for the Jenkins files as well. So this is going to be our dashboard. I have just spin up my instances in AWS console. So I will be using my, virtual machine. And yes, we have spoken of the Bard. We can close it. Okay. So let me do very, brief demonstration for you. So here we have created one folder named ChatGPT. So I have created one GitHub repo. The thing is here, we are going to put all the necessary file here. Then we are going to try whether we can get it with using the Jenkins file that ChatGPT provided to us. Of course, you can, just stick by some other rules, okay? For example, you can just create very simple freestyle project, but here our aim is to show you that ChatGPT can generate Jenkins file, and in the future, it doesn't matter how, long or how, let's say, complex your application is, it's going to be, giving you the nearly the same context. Okay. So let's start with creating our first application. So let's start with Python. For example, just think about you or maybe your company is, developing one application written in Python. So here in this case, I will be not going to dive deeper. So it's going to be a little bit, small. So let's write something to ChatGPT prompt, then wait until it's going to give us some prompt. Okay. For example, write me Python at that size hello from ChatGPT. So it's, very easy. You can, just run this command and see the content. So if you don't like the content that the ChatGPT provides you, you can just regenerate it, or you can just write it, let's say, without using functions. So this is the simple one, but maybe you realize I did some typo here. Although I did some typo, ChatGPT was able to give me the correct, prompt, okay? Because we have spoken it, it's, sometimes the human language could be, very complex and you are not very, let's say, articulate when you're writing something there. Although it's going to focus one part and it will understand and it's going to generate one, response for you. So let's copy it from here and let's create a simple hello.py app in our, let's say, folder. So right click here, new file. If you write hello.py, it's going to open you one file. So please paste the content here that you will be seeing here, right? So it's going to just show us like hello from ChatGPT. So just suppose that we have application here. Now we need to send this one to our GitHub repo, but I will do it with writing the Jenkins file as well. So when we go back to ChatGPT and write, because the syntax has not been changed and we are still moving on with the development phase. So I'm just asking ChatGPT to create a Jenkins file for this application. So create a Jenkins file for this application. You can just observe its briskness and it is, speed. You see, I just write something related to the code block above, and it will understand that, okay, I am just meaning this application, and it's going to create a simple Jenkins file for me. By the way, it can, just go every way down, okay? It will maybe consistent of nearly hundreds of lines, but the syntax are not changing. So if you just copy this code from here and just paste it into your Jenkins file, it will work, because this, the logic behind this kind of things are always staying the same. It doesn't matter how, short or long as it is. So let's copy this code, but we need to do some modification on this one as well. Okay. For example, if we want to go to, just check the source control management, we need to provide our credentials. So in this case, I'm not going to do this one. So I will just skip this stage so I can delete this one. All I want to see that, okay, whether this application has been deployed with using the Jenkins file or not. So let's copy it from here. Okay. So go back to our, main folder, right click, and since Jenkins file is the best practice to give one file which will, keeping all the necessary information, it will open me a new file. So just paste what you have copied from there. So we can just skip this part, this stage. I'm just deleting it. So here, be careful about the, let's say, the application source code name. You see, it is like hello, underscore ChatGPT, but our application is not this one. So it is simple hello.py. Okay. So we have two different files. One is for source code block. The other one is Jenkins file, which we'll be using it. So in this one, maybe it will consistent of, let's say, 20, 30, 15, or lots of, stages, but the syntax is going to be the same. So stages will be applied, and during the dashboard, when we go back to dashboard, we are going to see that it will be done with, hopefully success. Okay, so here it's going to be in the first stage, build and run. So the thing is, let's say the main purpose for this stage is like Python hello py. So we will be seeing in console output that, okay, this command is going to work, and we can see the content of our source code book. Okay, and the post one, you can, by the way, just skip this one. It's going to be, deleted, since this is not going to be working under any kind of, let's say, container. So we can just skip this part as well. Okay, so here I technically have two different files. One is Jenkinsfile, the other one is hello.py. So let's send this one to our repo. First, we need to run git add command. Then we need to do git commit, and commit message is going to be, let's say, first commit. And then we can do git push command to push this one to our repo. Okay, so I'm just checking the QA. Yes, I can mark. Just stand by, please. Okay, so here, until here, we have shown you how to, create some files, right? So this is my repo that I will be using for the ChatGPT purposes. So I was able to send my Jenkins file and hello.py file to here. So Jenkins, for those who have, a little bit strange to Jenkins, let me do a small brief explanation for the Jenkins. Jenkins is a tool that helps us to automate the CI/CD process. So CI/CD technically means continuous integration and continuous deployment. For example, as a DevOps engineer, our main purpose is to automate the process. So to minimize manual, intervention, so we need to just set some, use some agents to do this job. Okay, for example, just think about you have some application and the developers are developing one application. They are doing lots of commit, and every time they do some commit, they want to see whether the changes has been applied on your application or not. So for that reason, we cannot do every time, okay, did you do your commit? Yes, I do. So I need to just run one more time this, let's say, the pipeline to be, applying those changes to my application. So in order to do this one by manually, so we are just automating the process. So Jenkins is technically helping us to create this application without, needing the human interaction. Okay, so for that reason, we as a DevOps engineer use Jenkins as like our assistant. Okay, so you can create some cron job, for example, at midnight on every Sunday. You can just do, let's say, run your pipeline, and sometimes if there is no commit, you cannot. You just set some, let's say, pull SEM, so it's going to be skipped. Okay, so Jenkins is technically going to do this kind of automation on behalf of us. Okay, so I don't know whether my explanation will enough for it. So this is Jenkins dashboard. Okay, so we use Jenkins dashboard to see whether our app has been, deployed, or sometimes we get some error and we are going to do some troubleshooting purposes, right? For the, what's wrong with our application or not. So here, let me go back to my GitHub repo. So since, I was able to send my Jenkins file and my code block successfully here. So now all I want to do is just create a webhook from my Jenkins server to this repo so that I will connect them together, setting a some channel in the backstage. Okay. So in order to create a simple webhook, because every time you developers are going to commit, I want this one to be triggered and it's going to work automatically. Okay. So just click on the settings, and under here, we are going to see the webhooks. So if you just click on the add webhook, it's going to open. All right, it's going to open this payload section here. So there are, some reserved by the GitHub here. All I need to do is just take my public URL for my Jenkins. So this is my Jenkins server public URL, but the thing is here that we don't forget to add GitHub webhook / here. So this is kind of, reserved by the GitHub. So when you just click on this one, you are, setting some channel between your GitHub repo and your Jenkins server. Okay. So if you just refresh this one, you need to see, okay, seems it is not working. Let's delete it. Webhook, we need to add one. Okay. So let me copy it from here. Let me delete this one, and I will do it one more time. So it's going to be my public IP for my Jenkins server, and do not forget to add 8080 port and / GitHub - webhook. So just click on add webhook. Okay. So we need to see a green check mark here, or just click on it. So you see it is, seen here. That means it will, it will see the content in my GitHub user or GitHub repo. Okay. So all I need to do is from this point on to just create a simple pipeline. So for that reason, I'm just going to click on new item. So in here, you need to give one item name. So it will like first ChatGPT demo. So it's going to be a pipeline, since this, workshop's aim is to create a pipeline. So I'm just clicking on pipeline, then click OK. So in the next UI, I need to do some extra configuration. Okay. In the description field, as a best practice, we always, just put a description field here, because in some company, maybe you are working with a team consisting of nearly 5 or 6 or maybe a little bit more DevOps engineers. So every time you do some, let's say, job, you need to put a description here so that they are going to understand, okay, this is for this purpose. Okay. So let's say it's first demo for ChatGPT. So there are some sections here which will toggle out of scope. Okay. So, but we can just add our project URL here. It will affect nothing, by the way. So this is our repo. I'm just copying its URL. So in this part, in the general section, adding this one will affect nothing, but we will see it how it will be affected. Okay. So in here, in the pipeline section, if we choose pipeline script from source control management, so it will open a source control management for us. So we need to choose Git, because our repo has been created inside the Git. So we need to provide our repo URL here, which we have copied, from here. Let's check one more time. So it is here, our URL. So the thing here is very important, and we always want you to check it. So the branch should be exactly the same branch that you are on your GitHub repo. Okay. So since I am on the main branch, I need to be just putting it here as well. Okay. So the other part could be staying the same. It will affect nothing, I told you. Okay. So the script path is kind of important, because if you put your, let's say, the configuration in Jenkinsfile as Jenkinsfile name, okay, if you have given Jenkinsfile to it, you need to write Jenkinsfile here as well. But if you are, just giving it something like, first file, second file, or so on, so you need to write it here as well. Okay. So seems we are, okay, just click on apply and save. So we do some configuration. First time, I need to just ignite it with using the build now. So if I click on it, it will be, triggered and it's going to be applied. Okay. So let me just click on the build now. So first, it is, showing us whether it is, giving us an error. We need to see a green check mark here, but let's see what was the, main, let's say, error. So if you just go back to console output, okay, so we are doing some error in our Jenkins file, so let's make it correct. So it shows that we can just delete this one. Okay. So I think it's going to be updated, or we can just take a leverage for it. Just skip this part. I think we are done and it will open. So let me send this one to you one more time. So that commit and push. So I think it's going to be work right now. Seems everything is okay. So let's try to run it one more time. So just click on it and click build now. We want it to be working right now. If it's not working, we need to check the console output to see whether if we did something wrong or not. So, but here you see we have two stages. First, it's going to check whether our, repo has been, created and correct. And then it is showing us the logs, whether we did everything is good or not. So if we just click on the console output here with just clicking on the build number, so it will show you some steps here. Okay. First, it's going to check this repo, whether if it's genuinely exist or not. Then it will check its content. For example, in our source code blog, we have written like hello from ChatGPT. So this command has been applied with using the Jenkins user in our Jenkins file. So it's showing us the content because the job specification is as it is. And at the end of it, we were able to get finished success. Sometimes, you get, finished failure. So you need to be doing some troubleshooting in order to detect whether something is wrong or not. So this is kind of very brief explanation when it comes to, Python app. So let's try it with the Java app because it is, used very widely in IT market. So we will be doing exactly the same steps, right? So we want ChatGPT to create a, kind of Java application for us, right? So let's create, or maybe we can take a leverage from something somewhere, okay? So here, but I want it to be like, write me code in Java that says hello from, let's say, Java. So yeah, as the, application specification, it is very easy. It's consistent of only one class, and it is only purpose to show us hello from Java, as we did in our Python. Okay, so I'm just copying this one. I will be creating this file in my, GitHub repo, right? So the name is going to be hello world.java. So first, let's create it. So right click here, new file. So my second application in Java is going to be hello world.java. So let's take its content and paste it here. So this is going to be our content. So in here, I need to send this one to my GitHub repo. Then I need to configure my Jenkins file one more time, right? So the content is technically doing exactly the same thing in Python app. So I'm just sending this one to my repo. And as a commit message, we can write, second emo. And let's push it to our repo. So let's check whether we are, correctly send it to our repo or not. So just refresh this page and see our app has been appearing here. So now it is time for us to, modify our Jenkins file with using the ChatGPT. So let's see. By the way, I'm not going to very specific here. I will just write me a Jenkins file for the Java app. Write me a Jenkins file for this app. Okay, it is, taking the content from, above. You see, it is hello from Java. It is taking it from here. So we need to just specify the content itself here. It's going to be run. So first of all, let's copy this one from here and get back to our VS Code. So I will just updating the, the current Jenkins file. Okay. So in the checkout stage, we can just skip this part. And in the first stage, it's going to be compile my code because you may know it, Java should be compiled before it's running. So in the second stage, it's going to be, work like hello from Java. So it will be showing us this one. And the post, you can just skip this one. If you want to delete everything after the job, it's going to be deleted, okay? So this is how it goes. But sometimes you may realize that you need to install some extra packages for, let's say, Java application. But here, since we have, just configure our server from the beginning, we will see nothing here, okay? So I have updated my Jenkins file. I was able to send the newly created code there. So let's see whether our Jenkins file will work or not. So all I need to do is just going back to my dashboard. Okay. So I can, take leverage from here because I just, updated my Jenkins file. But if you just click on configure, so this is going to be my project URL. Jenkins file is staying here as it is, and main branch is there. And the repo URL has been, just entered here as well. So what I need to do is just apply and save because it's going to take the content from the Jenkins file. Okay, let's ignite it one more time and whether see if it is, working or not, because, sometimes we get some error when we, just work with the Java in order to, just install some extra packages. But here we have got success. So let's check the console output with clicking on the build number. So if we just click on the console output, we will able to see the content of the Jenkins file and the process that has been working in the backstage. So first of all, it will check whether this, repo genuinely stayed there, right? So then it's going to, just check it whether we have correctly sent it there or not, right? So then we need to do some extra, maybe sometimes we need to do extra some modification to it, right? Then after that, we will able to see it is going to be staying there or not. So this is technically how it goes, and we were trying to show you the best practice when it comes to, Jenkins file. Okay, so if you have further question, I will be always here. Just, don't hesitate, just ask it. Okay, I think this recording has been, published in the YouTube, and maybe we share the slides to you afterwards. Okay, guys, so this is going to wrap up our workshop today. If you have further question, please just ask it from the QA channel. So let me check. In the days of CI/CD, Jenkins still relevant. or should we move something cloud-based? Yeah, in my experience, Jenkins will be staying there because as long as you are CI/CD process, you need to use Jenkins or GitOps or some extra, let's say the CI/CD tools. But Jenkins is technically keeping the nearly, let's say, 40 or 45% of CI/CD process. So it is always easy to use the Jenkins because you see the dashboard is giving you some, let's say, freedom to see whether if you are writing something correctly or not. Okay. So guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for participating my workshop. If you have further questions, you can always contact me. I'm Robin and working in the Clarusway. Okay. Thank you. Have a great